We are in episode 2 of the basket challenge from my husband called Cropped. And in this challenge, I'll start by going over the rules. I have 10 minutes to plan, 60 minutes to execute. Acrylic must be used only to pull the print from the jelly plate. I must use all the die cuts, and then I must also create a card and envelope. Everything in the basket must be used. And I can use other things in my craft room if needed. So here's what's in the basket. I've got these mica powders from Bria Reese, Josie Lewis, and then I've got some DecoArt Ceramacoat White and Pink acrylic paints. Then I've got these die cuts. Got a little star set here. I've got a bottle of wine die cut, a glass of wine die cut, the inside of the glass of the wine, a little label for the wine glass, or wine bottle, I guess, and then a little sunshine. So those are my dies that I have to use. I've got 10 minutes to start my plan. And with that, I'm beginning my challenge. I'm going to start by taking my mica powders out and kind of seeing where I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start on my Gelli Print first, the wine bottle Gelli Print. But I want to have these opened up and ready to go so that I'm ready to begin my print. Before I can make my print, I need to make my stencil. So I'm doing my wine bottle stencil just on some copy paper. Then I'm going to work on what will be my envelope stencil. So then I have that wine glass, the stars, and then the inside piece of the wine glass as my second stencil. First, I'm beginning on my 5x7 gel plate, folding my card base, and I decided to do some pink on the plate first. I wanted to make it look like there were bubbles inside the bottle, so I did this bubble wrap texture. While it was still wet, I took the outside of my stencil of the bottle and removed a lot of the paint. Then I put the inside part of the stencil over my bottle so that I could put those mica powders on the outside of it. For the outside of the bottle, I'm using my warmer colors, the purple, the pink, the orange, and the yellow. And just kind of making a decorative background, almost like a painted wall kind of background. Then for the bottle part, I'm going to take the other side of my stencil, the opposite side, and place that over. And I'm going to fill it in with my greens and blues in this section. Once I wiped off all the extra mica powders, I put some white over the back of it, and this is what I'm going to use to pull the print off. I am making a slimline card, so I have a scrap piece of cardstock that I'm going to use to pull this part of the print. My scrap paper I'm putting over the top just so that I can get those edges cleanly off of the plate and focus on my actual print. And here is what it's looking like. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the envelope. I'm pulling out my larger 8x10 gel press, and I'm going to start by doing the inside part of the little wine glass. And then I'll layer over the top the outside part of the wine glass, and I'm mixing blue and green on the wine glass part and yellow for the stars. I'm just going to use a variety of the colors for the inside of the wine glasses. So this was how I decided to incorporate the stars, was to just kind of keep them on the background of my envelope piece. And as I was going through, I only had that one set of stars cut out. I wanted to add a little more stars than what was currently just being put onto the plate. Also, I wanted different colors. So here I was mixing the purple and the pink together to get a more light purple color, and then I did make another mixture of the orange and the yellow over on this side here. Then that made a more golden color. So here I took that star die cut and I was just filling in stars in the background, moving it around a little bit so that the orientation of the stars would kind of be varied. So I'm already having a lot of fun with this challenge. I really like this gelli printing and the different mica powders on here and the challenge of only using certain die cuts. So this has been already so much fun. I'm making this ombre background to pull this print. Again, this is going to be the envelope, so I did white to pink. And you'll see once I'm putting my paper on here, this is just copy paper. I have the best results with the copy paper making envelopes. I did have to use my heat tool just a little bit to make sure that the paint was going to stick to the paper with the mica powders. So it turned out really nice, vibrant. All the colors are really pretty. It's very comparable to the Perfect Pearls. The only thing is that pink is a lot lighter than the Perfect Pearl Pink. So I did have a lot of extra mica powders left on my plate, so I decided to do a ghost print. I put some of the bubbles on the back of my paint and pulled the print, and you can see it's a much lighter version. But I figured I'd have this just in case I messed up on my envelope. Then I had a backup piece to use. So now I'm going to work on my little shaker card piece. I'm making a purple inside for this one, and I'm doing the same process, doing a little bit of the blue and the green for the glass. And since I'm only using this one little section on the gel plate, I just put some paint right over the top of that. And I have my little piece of paper that I'm going to put over it to pull it off. My thought here was I would have a little bit of extra paint around it in case I needed to die cut my other pieces from that piece. Here I wanted to make the outside part of the shaker, the part that's going to be the outline, I guess. So I just did the same thing again. This time I used a smaller scrap piece of cardstock. And I went ahead and cut out my shapes. So I have the bottom piece and then the top outline piece that are going to stack together like so. I'm going to use this mesh instead of using the clear plastic. I decided this mesh would be kind of a different approach to making my shaker piece. Then I'm cutting down my foam pieces so that I can have the shaker parts inside and have them secured. The mesh that I'm using is from Dollar Tree. Actually, it's the tulle from their craft section, crafter square section. I'm using some little stars inside of my shaker. and it shakes, and it's going to be really nice as an extra dimensional piece on the outside of my card. So I'm assembling my card now. I'm running out of time and the time crunch is on. I start working a little bit faster here. Even though I do have it sped up, even in real life I was working faster as well. I had to make my envelope still, so I'm going to go ahead and fold it over my slimline card and just kind of create a custom made envelope here. If you've not seen my videos on how I make envelopes, it's just a really simple, you basically fold the paper around the card, cut away the 4 outside areas, and glue it together. Here I realized I still needed to cut out the pieces, the little die cut pieces, the label and the sunshine. So I put the label on the outside of the bottle, and the sunshine, I couldn't figure out what I wanted, so I kind of made it look like it was maybe like a lemon slice coming out of the wine glass. So I'm almost done here. I need to do my sentiment still, and I wanted to add some color to those 2 little die cut pieces. I used Versamark to use as a sticky surface for these powders to stick to. On the one die cut, I just did the Versamark and mica powders right on top and made it look like gold by mixing the yellow and the orange. That's for the label, and I just layered it on top with a piece of foam square. Then for the congrats, I went ahead and just did the Versamark on top of the words and used gold or orange on the top and yellow on the bottom. Again, just trying to make it look like a little bit of a gold piece here. And I did the same for the sunshine piece, and I'm just going to layer that one on top of the other piece. And now I've finished my title, I've got my elements on there, and time is up and the card is complete. I was pretty happy with this card, and I was pretty impressed that I was able to get a shaker card on there in the 1 hour time frame. So here's the envelope and card combo together. I think they look so nice together. The vibrancy of these mica powders is my first time using them. They're very bright, they work very well. I would recommend them very highly, and they're really they blend well together as well, and these colors just kind of look good together. So I hope you enjoyed this video. What do you think? How did I do on this challenge? Are you inspired by this at all? What would you make with this type of a challenge? Or is there something else you would make? I was very limited on my die cut pieces, so I felt like this kind of took all the pieces into account, and it made a really beautiful card. I love these colors. And if you're interested in seeing more of this, I do have another video that I will link that is the first challenge that my husband gave me for the basket challenge. I hope to see you in the next video, and until then, happy crafting.